The ancient Greeks knew what it meant to be a man. Just look at their statues. In those days, men fought with spears and arrows, built massive structures out of metal and stone, and taught their apprentices some of life's most difficult lessons. More importantly, they luxuriated in pools. Hello, I am Maxwell Pool, owner and proprietor of Pools. Let's face it, you're not much of a man as you were back then, and your wife, she knows it. You don't want her to leave, so why not add a pool for her to relax in and forget how much of a wimp she really thinks you are. Here at Pools, we have state-of-the-art, new and used in-ground pools to make you feel like a man. Come visit us at 164 Main Street for a free consultation and a chance to save that crumbling marriage of yours.
Hello, my name is Rick McNamara. I'm a 55-year-old retired printer salesman and lifelong above-ground pool owner. However, recent events have forced me to make a lifestyle change and transition into the role of an in-ground pool owner. Previously on whatever we decide, I forgot what it's called. That cool skier with the cool black X on his cool red hat told me that there had been an avalanche on the north side of the mountain and that my wife and son were missing. They were presumed dead and their bodies were never recovered. 1 month ago, I was skimming the pool when I got spooked by a very big dog, causing me to fall hard into the wall of the pool, which in turn caused the pool to collapse and spill almost 6,000 gallons of water into my basement and my neighbor's garage, ruining, among other things, my vintage baseball card collection.
And then to the right of Gumby, we have a second Pep boy.
Oh, Mark Pep!
Mark Pep. They didn't care for the third one. Jeff.
I wonder who they're gonna get to replace him though.
Hype beast?
That's a word. My son called himself a hype beast before.
So it's across from the dog park, and right next to the Dairy Queen.
I think that place just burned down.
What?
I've looked for these hats and I can't find them.
Let's check the tag.
Let's check the tag. Blank tag. Not helpful. Episode 2. Industry Insider. Having owned an above-ground pool for as long as I can remember, I don't know the first thing about in-ground pool construction. Do I dig the hole first and put the pool inside? Do I just build a really heavy above-ground pool and gradually let it sink into the earth? Do I have to pay more taxes on an in-ground pool? I'm not a political man, but I'll vote for anybody who makes it so I have to pay less taxes. I'm currently taxed at a 51% rate as reparations for accidentally making what the IRS has called uncharitable donations. So, I decided to talk to an expert. I drove down to Pools on Main Street and picked the brain of company owner Maxwell Pool. Once again, I got a little bit more than I bargained for. Excuse me, sir, is this, do you work here?
This is my store.
Oh, wow. It's huge. It's very impressive. Yeah. Can I ask your name, sir?
Well, as you can see on the store name, this is Pools, and I am Maxwell Pool.
Maxwell Pool. That's a very on-the-nose kind of name, sir.
Well, as they say, the name makes the man, and I make pools.
I understand. I've been there. I used to work at McNamara's construction warehouse, and in I'm sorry. My name is Rick McNamara.
Nice
before I forget, full disclosure, I am recording this conversation right now because I am recording a podcast. You see, I was a above ground pool man for a long time, and I eventually, due to recent events in my life, have been forced to convert to a in-ground pool, which is a huge change for me. So I'm trying to document it through making this podcast.
Well,
So is that okay with you if I
well,
record this?
my grandchildren say I have a voice for the radio, so I'm flattered.
You do have a beautiful voice, and you don't look that old. I would not have guessed you had grandchildren.
Well, my daughter had a teen pregnancy. It was very. Thank you for asking about that. It was a very hard time in our lives. She was maybe 14, 15, and a much older boyfriend. And I warned her about it. I said he's 27 years old. You can't date up. You know what I mean? But I love my grandchildren, and they tell me my voice is beautiful. They tell me it's deep, and I love them very much.
It's interesting how it became almost Woody Allen-esque when you were describing that inappropriate relationship between a minor and an adult.
Well, well, they say that's my father was Jewish, my mother, was not. So they say that.
I can't refute that, as I've not heard anyone say it, and I cannot prove a negative. So, anyway, sir, I came down here today to kind of. I am a total outsider when it comes to in-ground pools, and I was hoping that you might be able to show
Of
me
course.
kind of some of the show me the ropes a little bit when it comes to in-ground pools.
I'll show you the ropes. I'll show you the noodles. I'll show you the chlorine that you need to put in it. Because let me tell you, above ground pools, they're good for first time husband with your first wife. You don't know what you're doing. You're messing up half your kids. In ground pools are for the big man. Second wife, new set of kids. This is when you get it right. You're getting it right now. Coming into my shop. Okay. So ask me any questions. What do you need to know?
Well, firstly, I don't plan on taking a second wife. My wife and son were tragically lost and presumed dead in
very
a
sorry.
avalanche 5 years ago, almost to the day. And no, I'm sorry to bring that up. I'm fine with it. I've moved on. I didn't mean to be a downer, but
It's okay.
so what I'm kind of looking for is almost like a midlife crisis kind of thing. I want the Corvette of pools,
Okay,
I want the Corvette of in-ground pools.
Listen, if this is midlife crisis, late life crisis, end of life crisis, I have the pool for you. Okay, so let's talk pool shapes. Okay, the midlife crisis pool, perfect shape is something like an infinity symbol. Okay, it's like two bubbles at the end. Okay, this
Well,
is
like
something.
an 8 even.
Yeah, like an 8. And this is, I don't know what kind of yard you have. What kind of space are we looking at? Because what I'm thinking, okay, is you swimming, perfect loops, no edges.
Do you think infinity is God's bow tie?
Listen, I don't believe in God, but I believe in selling this pool, okay? So I'm thinking long loops, middle of the yard, okay? I don't know what yard space you're looking at, but any of it, the whole yard devoted to this pool. Okay?
I got probably a medium yard. I got like
Medium yard.
it's like a blue collar yard, but it's in a pretty good neighborhood.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing it's in a good neighborhood. Okay.
It's got
listen.
It's got a lot of trees in the yard, so it's.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to cut some of those trees down. Okay. So listen.
Oh well, so. Then I run into an issue because I like to swim at 62 degrees exactly whenever I can, because that's the perfect temperature to swim in the water on a hot day. And so part of my strategy is I have so many trees in my yard that it creates great shade in my yard. So how do if I'm going to cut down these trees, I got to find a way to replace it, because I can't cool down the pool, but I can heat it up to 62 if it's cold.
Well, it isn't this is your lucky day, because we have sunshades, okay? Whatever shape the pool is, I have a perfectly shaped sunshade to go over it, okay? Now, it is about the price of the original pool, but it's a worthwhile if you're concerned about temperature, which I am too. It is a worthwhile purchase.
What you're concerned about temperature? What kind of temperatures what kind of temperatures do people who own in-ground pools swim in? Because I'm new to this world. Maybe the in-ground pool has a better temperature to swim in than 62 degrees. I doubt it, but
I want my pools heated up. Okay, my children are very young. My wife is very young. Okay, people like to judge. I don't judge. It's my second wife. Okay, what are you gonna do? Okay, so my young wife and I, we like to go swimming 75, 80 degrees. I want to be boiling in there. It gets my skin very red, very flushed. Okay, and it takes away a couple of those wrinkles, a couple of those, little of the gabagool that's collected on my face over the last few years. Okay, you understand? You're about my age. You know what it's like as you get older. God, Jesus.
Well, are you okay? You just swallowed a whole jawbreaker.
Listen, I'm like a snake. I can swallow. I dislocate my jaw.
Whoa! How does that? Were you born like that, or is that a newer trait?
Yeah, well, I have a condition. Okay, I just don't discuss it with every Joe Schmo coming in here, but I do have a condition that I have a looser jaw than most. It's called loose jaw disease. Okay,
is that something that I can get? Because I have a hard time. I like to eat. I tried to swallow a full meatloaf one time.
Okay.
On a day, and it
of course
really effed up my jaw tremendously. And so I've never really recovered. So if that's something I could do, I
just
could
loosen up the jaw. I mean, listen, I know a guy. I don't know too many doctors, but I know a couple handymans, and I know a guy who can loosen up your jaw. He's got a garage, okay. And I know this sounds a little below board, and he does only take cash, but he's got a garage. He's got some pliers. He's got a little machine that's something like a drill, but with a couple little attachments on the end of it, and he does
so
jaw
like a drill.
Like a drill, but like an extra drill, okay? A drill and a half is what he calls it. And it's got a few other attachments on there. And let me tell you, you want your jaw loosened up, you can loosen the old jaw. You can loosen your teeth too, okay? He's a very rough man, not very patient focused.
So how did you get into the pool business? Because you seem more rough and tumble than I expected from an above ground pool or an in ground pool kind of guy. I'm sorry, I'm getting used to saying that. So
well, let me tell you a story. I used to sell above ground pools. I'll say it, okay? I'm not proud of it. I would take abandoned ones. One of the most frequently abandoned household luxuries is the above ground pool, okay? Because they're shit, they're bad, okay?
Oh, and I don't know. I disagree. I still love above ground
pools. They're shit, and you're shit if you like them, okay? And I would take them, the abandoned ones, and I'd rehabilitate them, okay? I'd slap a new coat of paint on it, slap some new boards on it, okay? Put it out, install it in someone's house for half price, okay? That was my initial job, and I got forced out, okay? Because there's a union out there. They have certain rules, and one of the rules is you can't just steal abandoned pools and reuse them. It's unsanitary, okay? That's one of the rules. Second rule is you don't sell pools on someone else's turf. Okay, listen, I was parking in front of McGarry's pool store, okay? You know where it is. It's on Scottsdale Boulevard. I'd park in front of there and, big pool in my truck. And I'd say, hey, pool for $60. Hey, installation fee, $500.
That's really clever.
Very clever. Also against the rules for the pool union. So they took my union card. They said, we never want to see you in a pool that's above the ground ever again. Okay? So every time I get in a pool, I have to take a ruler and measure out how many feet it is underground.
That's harrowing. I'm sorry to hear that. It seems to me like you wouldn't have had it. How did you even get into the union if you were just stealing pools?
Well, listen. This is a different time, okay? This is the 1970s, 1980s. The union, it was very powerful at the time, okay? And my mentor, a man named mentor was a man named Robbie Cannavallari, okay? You heard of him? Bobby's Pools, huh?
I believe I've heard of Bobby Cannavale, but not. I didn't know he did pools. I thought he was mostly a very talented actor.
This isn't the same. This isn't the same Bobby Cannavale. Okay, this is Bobby's Pools. Okay, maybe they're related cousins, fathers. Fucking twins. Okay,
That's
but,
tough if you and your brother named your kid the same name. But,
well, listen. Well, actually, my brother's name is Maxwell as well.
whoa. So who named who first? Or was it you both popped out on the same at the same time kind of thing?
No, my brother died of rheumatism as a young baby, and they just used the name again. I guess they couldn't think of another one when I was born.
Oh.
The grief. I mean, my mother she couldn't leave her bed for 2 years. Even when I was born, she just lay there. The doctor said he had never seen a lower energy birth.
So for this pool,
Bobby's pool.
for the pool I'm looking for,
Okay.
I guess, is I'm looking for something more in the classical pool kind of feel to it. I don't know if I can do an infinity pool. I get scared at edges, especially since my last pool, my above ground, collapsed because I was skimming the pool and big dog scared me and I fell into the wall and it collapsed. So part of what I'm looking for is something where that can't happen again.
Okay. Well, I have you. Okay. Oval. Perfect oval. Okay. Perfect oval. Small. Shallow. A little bit shallow. Now, I usually use this for my more elderly people. Okay. Because, you don't want Granny. You don't want to walk outside and see Granny float to the pool the wrong way up. You know what I'm saying? It's happened quite a few times. And,
that's tragic.
Oh, it wasn't my Granny. So, listen, okay. Maybe shallow, 4 feet, okay? And I'm thinking, oval, 30 feet around, okay? This is a very small, compact pool, okay? Your kids can play in it. Hey, no, you don't have any. Sorry about that, the avalanche. Very hard to hear, okay? So, if you have any kids that you just hang out with, that you're friends with, they can play in it, though.
Yeah, I would love to get something that I think the neighborhood could use too, and
Yeah.
I could just maintain, and it'd be like a public pool, but for my yard. You see, I don't get a lot of visitors lately. I just feel like I've been, since I retired, I was a printer salesman.
Okay.
It's been a little bit lonely, So part of it is I want something, fun for the whole family, and so I'm looking for more ways to keep it fun. So, where do you store these pools? Are they all out back, or is it like a? Oh, I see you got a big catalog here. So,
big catalog.
Yeah,
I wrote it myself.
It's occurring to me now that you wouldn't be able to keep full pools in a store.
Unfortunately, no. That'd be a store in heaven. Is the kind of store you're
Tell me
talking
about it. Oh man, you just swim all day. It'd be like a mattress store, but you try them out by swimming in them. That'd be fun. I like mattress stores.
Idea.
I like mattress stores a lot. I go in there and I test the firmness, and I don't lie down on them ever because I think that's gross. But I like to look. I like to have the option.
My first wife and I would just cuddle on the mattresses for hours at a time. And they'd say, leave, and we'd say, don't worry, we're buying all of them. And they'd say, really? And we'd say, no, and then we'd leave.
That's a pretty mean trick to play on the minimum wage employee.
Pretty dirty trick.
Hey, whatever you got to do, man, to keep the romance alive.
Keep the love alive.
Well, it sounds like you and your first wife really had something. What happened there?
Well, the first wife, she, we were kind of living on two different planets. You know what I mean? Maybe she was on Mercury and I was on Mars. You know what I mean? Maybe she was on Pluto and I was on a regular planet, not a dwarf planet, Or maybe she was on, Aquarius and I was on regular Jupiter, you know? Or she was on the moon and I was on the fucking earth. You know what I mean? I mean, she had the body she had the body of like
I thought,
a
oh, I know you're about to say centaur, but it, I just felt like I needed to clarify. Is Aquarius a planet? I'm not a space guy.
Yeah, no, Aquarius is a fucking planet. Why would it be in space if it wasn't a fucking planet?
I, again, I'm not a space guy. I don't know the answers. I'm just wondering what the deal is. But your pools, I'm torn on this feature. I'm torn on the waterfall. I
Okay.
think that the waterfall is a super cool idea, but I
Mhm.
think it could lead to catastrophe. You see, my yacht has no natural drainage, which was part of the problem.
Okay.
So I'm worried about the waterfall causing issues. I'm worried about basically any moving parts. So what do you do when someone's yacht has no drainage and they want to have an exciting, fun pool for the neighborhood, but they don't want to be boring, but they also, they need something that won't ruin another person's vintage baseball cards.
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you what we do. Let me tell you what we do. We build a fairly complex system. Okay, I know a guy. Okay, he does pipes. He's a pipe guy. Okay, and not just the pipes he can build. Okay, okay. Let's just say he's hitting different kinds of pipes too, and he can build a complex system of pipes that goes through your grass. Okay, we cover it up with more grass. I know a sod guy too. Okay, and we have those pipes. We lead them all the way out to the sewer outside. Okay, outside your house. Okay, complex system of pipes, hidden pipes, and let's just say you'll have to look two ways while doing the mower. Okay, but it's a very effective system. I've used it 100 times.
Uh, so I don't. That didn't answer my question really at all. I was just kind of wondering, like, what kind of features would be safe for me if my yard's prone to flooding and my basement.
I have the safest waterfalls in the world. Okay, I have the safest waterfalls. I have the safest pools. I have the safest drains. Okay, in the world. So no worries. Above ground pool. Listen, you were playing Russian roulette with 6 bullets in the chamber. Okay, it was
Isn't that a
inevitable.
isn't that a bad thing?
Yeah, it's a bad thing. With that above ground pool, you had a gun to your head, 6 bullets in the chamber, and you were saying, I wonder if I'll be okay. You weren't, okay? The gun went off 6 times, okay? Into a dead man's skull. Now, I have a gun that is empty, okay? Which gun would you rather put to your head? The one that's empty or the one that's full?
Well, definitely the one that's empty. I'm just confused if we're following this metaphor, how the other 5 bullets got into my head after the first one.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much you've read about what dead bodies do after the body, after the brain is gone, but they can still repeat mechanical actions for some time. So maybe, somehow the muscles in the hand was still working and just fired 6 times into the skull.
Jesus, that's a thought. Because it's also like, what happens when we die, you know?
Yeah.
And that's part of the thing that's, I think, scariest to me, especially having lost my wife and son, having them presumed dead, is that I don't even know where they are right now. All I know is that a guy in a hat told me, they're gone, and I'll never know. And so that's part of it for me, and that has definitely tainted my enjoyment of the pool. Um, so I mean, if you have any strategies as to how to enjoy the pool without feeling guilty, because you seem like a guy who's seen some loss.
I see some loss, and yet I have not lost. Okay, that's my deal. Okay, with myself, is that no matter how much I lose, I am not lost myself. Okay, it might not seem like it, but I'm a very self actualized man. Okay, and I focus on myself. I look at myself in the pool, and I look at this pool, and I say, I am but a little bit of hair and flesh in this water, okay? Now I don't know where your wife and your kid are, okay? I don't even really care. When you leave, I'll forget about you. I won't think about this again. But think about the pool. Think about immersing yourself in something large, something big, okay? And even if they're nowhere, they were somewhere once, you know?
God, you're cool. I
Thanks,
just
dude.
I'm just in. You're like a rock star of this pool sales thing. This comes to my next question because I'm trying to figure out the financing of something like this. Is it says you got deals on new and used pools, but you said
Yeah.
yourself you don't sell above grounds anymore. So how do you do a used in ground pool?
I turned 35. I went through a little bit of a crisis, maybe like the one you're going through right now, except for the missing wife and the kid. When I was 45, I said to myself, what have I become? Just building pools for people. And I went back to my old ways. And so what I do is I go to houses that are foreclosed on. Okay, I look at that concrete. Concrete is very expensive. Okay, I get a jackhammer and I get some of the toughest men I know with big sledgehammers, and we break that pool up. We put it back together in another yard. Okay, and in some ways, much more time consuming than just building a new pool because we have to perfectly dig a hole that perfectly mirrors the dimensions of the original pool. It's a very precise process. And people say, "What do you do it?" It's much more overhead, more time, and I sell it for much less. It's much cheaper than my normal pools, and I do it. I do it for the love. I do it for the passion. Okay, you know why does LeBron James shoot that ball? He doesn't do it for the money. He does it for the love.
Where are you meeting all these tough guys? Is my other question because I don't know very many like tough, cool dudes to help me, dig holes and stuff. And it seems like you have this network of you know unsavory characters and strong men at your disposal. And I don't want to jump to conclusions, but do you have sort of an explanation as to where you're meeting these guys?
Well, listen, you go to the gym much? You in good shape?
Me, I go to the gym. I use the elliptical a lot at the gym, and sometimes I'll do some stuff with the medicine ball and some stretching. But plant I usually go on pizza days to Planet Fitness because they sometimes this is true bring in a big pizza for everybody while they're working out. You can eat the greasiest pizza of your life right at the front of the Planet Fitness. So but most of the time I just go and I do some calf raises too. I started doing those recently. So I have these big fat calves from working out, and those just soak through my cargo shorts.
Okay. Well, I don't go to the gym, but I go to the gym saunas. I've been going for years. Okay, and you meet
Oh,
people.
is that the hot room?
Yeah, the hot room.
Oh,
Okay.
sometimes if I have a second slice of pizza that I'm not ready to eat, I'll put that in there and wait like to keep it warm.
So,
I just called
so
it the hot room though.
well, I call it the sauna, and I go to the sauna and I sit there. I sit there, and I put my towel on. I sit there, and you meet all kinds of customers there. Okay, you meet guys that are into pools. You meet guys that are into they're into pipes. You meet guys that are into drills. Okay, and so first guy comes in there. I say, "What are you into? What are you into? What's your thing?" Okay, more often than not, their thing works with my thing. Oh, you're into hammers? Come on, I got something to smash up for you. Okay, you're into you're into drills. Hey, loosen my jaw a little bit. Okay, so that's I'm a sauna guy.
It sounds like the kinds of guys you're meeting are um I don't want to jump to conclusions, but Mario villains? They're
Listen,
big into pipes and hammers and drills.
Well, we nicknamed one of our friends Turtle after that show Entourage, which let me tell you, very funny show
It's a
and
great show.
great show, dude.
It's just like it's so down to earth, you know?
It's like which of the characters do I identify with the most? I don't
Yeah.
fucking know, bro.
I can't tell them apart, so I can't tell you.
But yeah, so my entourage, the Sauna guys.
The Santourage. That's what you should do
Entourage.
for your t-shirts.
Yeah, no, and it's all the characters from Entourage, but with our faces on them.
Yeah, and towels over their ding dongs.
Towels over the ding dong. We'll get naked photos of all the cast and then put towels over the ding dongs.
And then
And-
maybe I'm coming in to grab my slice of pizza on the shirt. I'm
Yeah,
saying,
I mean, maybe.
oh yeah, well,
Sure.
yeah, I guess it's your shirt. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to butt
My
in.
shirt. It's my shirt.
Do you mind?
Kid, okay.
Do you mind showing me some of these? So I see you got a bunch of tile samples in the back
Yeah.
for, maybe a stucco or something in the back for the pool area. So, do you mind showing me what what we got here?
No. We're not going to show you. No, I'm just kidding. Sure. Yeah. What kind of tile are you interested in?
Well, I'm nervous about this bathroom tile because I think that's going to get slippery, around a pool. So I'm looking more for like a stucco or something that's going to make it so my wet feet can kind of grip and I don't fall.
Okay. I mean, I'm thinking, in my, I have a pool at home. I built it myself, and I have something more like, it's not really stucco at all. It's more like a mosaic, like a Greek mosaic, of like a warrior fighting some big monster. That's my thing at home. But yeah, we can get you a little.
Sorry. For the listeners, he just showed me a picture on his phone. It's gorgeous. It's huge and it's pretty erotic to look at. I'll be honest.
But we can get you a cute little stucco.
What is there a reason? Would you prefer the stucco? Would you recommend the stucco over the mosaic?
To you, I'd recommend the stucco.
Oh, is there why?
Well, I think the in some ways you have to earn the mosaic, and I think the mosaic is something that it's only a few of my friends I've even really given it to, so I think I think the mosaic.
Oh,
is...
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay, so stucco. I'll do stucco, and then, I mean, what kind of tile would you recommend for the inside? Do you do tile on the inside? Do you do like a lining? I've seen some pools do like a lining on the inside.
We have a pretty extensive tiling system, and we do some perhaps some tasteful tile. I'm very good at grouting. Is it grouting?
So, and this is second. You mentioned you put in your own pool. What was that like? And sort of how did your family, feel about you digging up the yard and all that stuff? Because
Well,
I don't think, because my wife was always nagging me about going in ground, and which is part of why I'm so ready to do this now.
This is a
just
tribute
honor
to
with
her.
it. Yeah. So, did your family have sort of the same kind of feelings about putting in a pool? Were they resistant at all?
Well, I'll tell you what. My first wife, she'd left me. Okay, she divorced me. She dumped me. Okay, and I was, was going through a lot, and I sometimes the sunniest days would just look gray to me, and so I started looking into the old warriors, the Greek warriors, and started thinking about, what was Hercules thinking when his family left him, when he killed them all. Okay, and I'm reading these myths. And I'm thinking maybe I'm a little like Hercules, I'm a little like Hercules. Maybe I'm not the strongest. Maybe I'm not the smartest, okay? But, there's something in me, there's I come back. And so I was alone in the house. She'd taken the kids. And there was no one even to, I was like you. I was alone, okay? And there was no one to tell me not to put a mosaic up. of Hercules slaughtering, one of the great beasts, the great Greek beasts. And yeah, it's pretty, I spent a lot of my fortune on it, and it's a large mosaic of Hercules slaughtering the beasts, a large mosaic of a King David, killing Goliath. I kind of mixed up my religions a little bit, and then I have a big idol. Actually, I have a pretty large prayer shrine to Athena.
Whoa, that's pretty. Oh, that's the picture. The picture really helps. That's
Yeah.
huge. Yeah, that's pretty rad. I had a golden calf for a brief time,
Okay.
um, but my wife made me get rid of it. Obviously, because not because it was upsetting to her. She's not religious. She had a bad accident with a matador, and you know, it was triggering for her to have the golden calf in there. So I guess again, you're really hyper focusing on. I was just wondering, because I miss my family a lot. Sort of what kind of things they would like versus what do families look for in a pool? What did your family look for in a pool? Because right now it just kind of sounds like you've described uh, what is a project in absolute vanity. So I'm just kind of curious as to what they think about things. Are they happy? How did you meet your new wife, by the way?
My new wife, I met her. I met her at the. I met her. My new wife. I was driving along the street, and I stopped at a fast food place. And I was eating a burger. Okay, eating a little burger, and then I went home.
I'm sorry, which fast food place was this? I
I
gotta know. I
I
gotta know where your
stopped at
spot is.
I stopped at a Church's Chicken,
Church's
and
Chicken.
I was eating a burger. I don't get the chicken there. Okay, I don't eat chicken.
Yeah. I'm more of
And
a Zaxby's man myself.
I was eating it, and then I finished it, and then I went to a Bojangles, and I got a biscuit with ham, egg, and cheese on it. Okay, and I'm driving along.
Breakfast.
Little breakfast at 10 p.m.
Did you eat it then? Because I like to go. I sometimes go to McDonald's and get a McGriddle for the next morning because I'm too tired in the morning to go order. So I save it.
Well, what I do is I eat half, and then I save the rest. Okay, and so
Those
I'm
things,
eating.
people don't understand how well fast food saves.
It saves very well. I mean, I still have, I sometimes meal plan the entire week by buying fast food ahead of time.
I've done that. I also, that time my refrigerator broke, I thought I wasn't going to be able to save anything. Turns out, Big Mac was still good 3 days later. Didn't even need to refrigerate it.
So I'm eating my Bojangles, and I'm trying to get it perfectly in half. So I'm not really looking at the road. And then I hit what I thought was a deer, okay? And I get out, and it is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And I'm getting a little emotional talking about it. I'm sorry, but she was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And I took her to the hospital. I waited there until she regained consciousness. I nursed her back to health. I was there every day. And then she said, "My sister really needs a man." And that is the woman I married.
Wow. So are you still friendly with the sister, or the original sister?
No, our relationship kind of fell apart. I really, really didn't take her rejecting me too well.
Yeah, you don't seem like a guy who does well with rejection. Is that fair to
No,
say?
that's very fair to
You
say.
seem like a don't take no for an answer kind of guy, which is,
No,
probably one of the most unhealthy mindsets a human being can have.
very good for selling pools. Very bad
So
for being friends with your wife's sister.
yeah, ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth?
My wife's sister also isn't a big fan of mine because well, I accidentally. It's also car related. Funnily enough, I accidentally popped all of her tires on a minivan with a BB gun. I was
Oof.
trying to hit a can, and off of. Well, are you familiar with William Tell?
Of course, of course.
Uh, her husband and her husband even started it, right? He
Okay.
was like, hey Tony, stand against the car. We're gonna put this on your head. We're gonna put this can on your head, and we're gonna shoot it off. And he got it first try clean. He's a real alpha male, you know. And so and then I gave it a try, and I 4 for 4 hit every single tire and deflated them all on this minivan. And which I was not aiming for any of the tires. I don't know. I messed up the scope or something because I was way off.
That's I mean, listen, that's a household mistake that can happen to anyone.
It really is. Those things are harder to aim than people think. People think that guns are just like point and shoot, but they're not, you know? Because there's so much other stuff you have to account for the curvature of the earth and all this other stuff. I it's not for me is what I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Uh it's too many things to worry about. I'm a pool guy, you know? I like pools, I like swimming
Yeah.
in pools, I like skimming pools, cleaning pools. Um so if I'm gonna put a pool in myself, let's say I have the ability to put in a pool myself, what do I need to do it? What's essential for me to put this pool in my yard if I was going to do it myself?
Do it yourself. Well, don't do it yourself, okay? You gotta get a guy like me to do it.
Yeah, look, I don't know, I feel like I was always putting in above grounds by myself, and I
Above
did all
grounds
right.
are
I built them
shit.
myself.
And what
Well,
happened to you above
again,
ground? Is it still
I
there?
don't
Where's
know.
your above ground?
What's up?
What happened to you above ground that you put in yourself? Is it
I
still there?
I fell into the wall because I got scared by a big dog and it flooded my yard, and my yard has no
Exactly.
natural drainage, so
Exactly.
it
It's
flooded my
shit.
basement and ruined my vintage baseball
It's
cards, and it ruined a
shit.
bunch of my neighbor's stuff because it flooded his basement and his garage where he had his Etsy shop where he was making custom blacklight posters. So I I I want to put in an in-ground pool so that doesn't happen again, and I feel like it's something that I might be able to handle myself. So I'm just wondering kind of what you want, what you would suggest for a guy like me.
I'd suggest you get a big shovel and dig a big hole and prepare to get buried in it, because it will bury you, brother. Okay? Listen, I put my first in-ground pool. I was 25 years old, and I didn't know nothing. Okay? I knew less than you, and you know nothing. So dig a big hole and get ready to let those walls close in on you, brother. Because when you're deep in there digging a pool, you know you can't finish. You're gonna get buried.
Oh boy, that threat almost sounded literal. Does that happen to people?
It happens. There are 16 to 17 pool related deaths every year in America.
Jesus, that seems really low.
It's very low. I mean, well, I mean, it's, I mean, with regard to structural integrity, drowning is
Oh,
much
okay.
higher.
Because I was gonna say, I'm sure there's like, at least 5 more kids who's drowning every year.
The poor kids.
Look, I'm not advocating for it. I want to make sure our data is right.
Uh huh.
But that's good to know. Again, I still think I could probably handle it, but um, again, if I definitely am glad we had this time to talk, and
Mm-hmm.
that I got to speak to a real expert in this field. Look, I'm gonna turn the microphone off here for a second.
Okay.
Um, it sounds as if you you've been alluding to sort of a network of underground. Well, I'll say it, a pool mafia,
A pool mafia.
and I just I just want to know: is this a thing that exists in the world, or is this something that you are fabricating to feel important.
Whether or not the pool mafia exists in the world or in your head, they still have the same power, okay? It's like at the ending of Harry Potter, you know? When Harry's in heaven with Dumbledore, he's in wizard heaven, and he says to Dumbledore, "Is this real?" Dumbledore says, "Does it matter?" Okay? Pool mafias, well, listen, if there was a network of people controlling the pools, you'll know about it very soon.
Oh, okay. Well, I just ask in part because it looks like you're expanding next door, and that's where the the place just burned down, the cartography store.
A cartographer's store, yeah. Imagine having a cartographer's store in the year that we're in. I mean, Jeezy Pete. I mean, who's buying maps?
Well, that's a good question. I just wonder whether you know anything else about that burning down, because I have to replace my neighbor's map. My neighbor bought maps from him, and I have to replace them because I flooded his elliptical and he cleaned it up with the maps. So
Well, your neighbor's a fucking rube buying maps like that. I had an antique map of this state that I tried to use to drive to the big game, and I was lost for hours. But the shop burning down. Listen, I heard it was a couple of spark plugs, if you know what I mean.
huh. I think I take your meaning.
Yeah, a couple of
yeah.
spark plugs.
Couple of spark plugs. So like, very energetic, lively women. Again, I don't care. I just am curious for, research purposes. And I owe my neighbor these maps back. So do you have, could you potentially give me the contact information for our, that cartographer? Do you have his contact?
Yeah, I
You
got
must-
his
you
card
must
right
know.
here. I got his card right here.
You got his card. Whoa, this is a very intricate map on this card.
Very good, man. It works too.
It works. Where does it? You've used it?
It takes it to his home.
Takes me to his home. Oh, that's perfect. Well, thank you so much, man. Mr. Poole, I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of talk to me about this, and I will definitely be back once I kind of have a clearer idea
Okay.
of what kind of pool I'm putting in. So, thank you so much, and definitely tell everyone that I am not putting in a pool if they ask, because
Okay.
I want to keep it kind of on the down low now.
Of course.
I left pools with a lot to think about. I learned next to nothing about pool construction, but what Maxwell said made me think that maybe the primary obstacle people face when putting in-ground pools in has nothing to do with the actual construction. I should also point out that yes, I realized that I betrayed Maxwell Pool's trust when I told him that we would no longer record. In time, I think you will come to understand why I did what I did, and I hope you agree that I was left with little other choice, as telling this story incompletely is just as dangerous as not telling it at all.